Hi, I'm Pastor David with Declaration Church. And right now, as we're going through this pandemic and things are difficult, sometimes, for me at least, life feels kind of like a struggle. It seems kind of like a fight. And I don't know if you've ever been through situations like that before. I think most of us have, probably all of us. But I don't know, there might be a few of you out there watching today that everything's been easy for you most of your life. You really haven't had a lot of difficulties. But for most of us, we've come into situations in our lives where every day just feels like a struggle. Every day feels like a fight. Everything is hard and we have to work for everything. We have to fight for everything. And it becomes really difficult. And there are times where we're in those situations where, I don't know about you, but at least for me, there are times where in that kind of a situation, I start to feel like giving up. And usually in those times when I take the courage and the opportunity to share with somebody else that's close to me what's going on in my life and the struggles that I'm having, the things that I'm facing, I find comfort in sharing with them. And a lot of times I'll actually get back some pretty good advice. And I know that at times when people have shared their struggles with me, I've also been able to provide encouragement and advice to them to help them move forward and win the battle, to continue going in the fight and to keep living, to keep pushing, to keep pursuing God through everything. And I came across this verse in Judges chapter 3 that I think is really interesting for situations like this, where things are difficult, where things are hard, where not everything is coming easy all the time. So it's Judges chapter 3. Judges is just after Israel has come into the promised land, and Joshua has passed away now, and he had led Israel for a number of years. And then the people who were with him and kind of his understudies and were a part of his leadership team have all passed away. And now people are just kind of living life. And the book of Judges uses a phrase all the time, repeatedly throughout the book, that just says everyone was just doing whatever they thought was right. They weren't really paying attention to what God said. They weren't really paying attention to what maybe conventional wisdom was. Everybody's just doing whatever they felt was right for them at the time and in the moment. Which a lot of times is actually going to lead to some pretty negative things. And so that's the kind of situation that we're coming into with this particular book. And so chapter 3 of Judges, verse 1 says this: "Now these are the nations that the Lord Yahweh left to test Israel by them. That is, all in Israel who had not experienced all the wars in Canaan. It was only in order that the generations of the people of Israel might know war, to teach war to those who had not known it before." And what I gathered out of that was that difficulties and trials come into our lives so that as we learn how to overcome those things, that later on, when we interact with other people, with people who are coming after us, we're going to be able to share our experiences. We're going to be able to share our victories and our strategies, the things that we were able to do, and encourage others to keep going and overcome their struggles as well. We learn from each other how to overcome the struggles in our lives. That's what God has always intended. And so those difficulties aren't intended to drive us away from each other. They're not intended to drive us away from God. Rather, they are there in our lives to teach us how to continue, how to overcome, how to gain victory in the battles that come in our lives. And so God leaves those challenges in our lives so that we can learn to overcome and then teach others how we overcame, teach others how they can then also overcome the struggles in their own lives. And so as we learn through our own struggles, as we share with each other our struggles and then learn from one another how to overcome them, we're going to be better equipped to live this life that God has placed before us, to achieve the purposes for which we've been created. So you see how important relationship is. Not just our relationship with God, which is vitally important, but relationships with one another. So even in this time where we're socially distanced and we're isolating ourselves as much as possible from large groups and people who don't live in our houses with us, keep in mind that you need to continue to connect. And when you're going through a difficult time, reach out to those people you know you can trust, those people who are closest to you, and let them encourage you. Let them help you with the knowledge that they've gained, the wisdom that they have, so that we can all overcome this time together and see the other side and see the blessings of God that will come from us continuing to walk with Him through these difficult times. Hopefully, if you're going through a hard time like a lot of people are in our nation and in the world today, this has been encouraging to you. If so, give it a thumbs up, like the video, subscribe to the channel so you're notified when we put up new content. As always, I'm Pastor David, and I'm out.